You might think that when she finally sees you've moved on, she'll just let you go quietly. No drama, no emotion, no looking back. But that's not how it works. Not even close. Hi, I'm Olivia, host of Psychology Secrets with Olivia. And today I want to sit down with you. Not as someone judging you, not as someone giving you surface level advice, but as someone who truly understands what happens inside a woman's mind when she realizes she has actually lost you. And I want you to hear this carefully, because most men completely misunderstand this moment. And if you're watching this right now, maybe you've been there. Maybe you pulled back. Maybe you stopped chasing. Maybe for the first time, you chose yourself. And now you're confused because her behavior doesn't make sense anymore. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the moment you stop caring, she suddenly starts acting differently? Like she becomes more present, more curious, maybe even a little emotional, but not in a way you expected? If that's you, stay with me. Because what I'm about to share might completely change the way you see relationships, and more importantly, the way you see yourself. Now, here's the truth no one tells you. When a woman realizes she has lost you, not physically, not just your presence, but your emotional investment, that's when something shifts deep inside her. It's not immediate panic, it's not loud, it's subtle, and it builds. At first, she watches. Yes, she watches. She notices that you're not texting first anymore. She notices you're not explaining yourself. You're not trying to fix things. You're not reacting the way you used to. And at first, she doesn't take it seriously. Why? Because she's seen this version of you before. She's seen you pull away for a few days, maybe even a week, only to come back. She's seen you miss her, chase her, try again. So in her mind, this is just another cycle. And this is where most men lose. Because they do come back. They break, they text, they show emotion, they prove that nothing really changed. But when you don't, when days turn into weeks, and weeks into months, and you're still silent, not out of ego, not out of anger, but because you've truly moved forward, that's when it hits her. This is real. And that realization is powerful, because suddenly the dynamic changes. Let me explain this in a way that really lands. When someone feels like they always have access to you, your attention becomes invisible. It becomes expected. It loses value, not because you're not valuable, but because human psychology is wired to appreciate what can be lost. Think about this in your own life. How often do you take something for granted until it's gone? Exactly. It's not about her being a bad person. It's about human nature. So when you were always there, always available, always trying, she didn't feel the risk of losing you. And without risk, there is no urgency. But now there is uncertainty. Now she doesn't know if she can reach you anymore. Now she doesn't know if you'll respond the same way. Now she doesn't know if she still has access to you. And that uncertainty creates emotional movement. She might check your social media, not obsessively, but consistently. She might notice when you're active, when you're not, what you're doing, who you're becoming. And here's the key point. It's not always because she wants you back. It's because she feels the loss of control. And that's something most men don't understand. In her mind, she was supposed to be the one in control of how things ended. She was supposed to decide the distance, what's the pace, the attention. But now you change the script, and that shift, it unsettles her. Now let's talk about something very important. The moment she reaches out, because she probably will. And when she does, it won't be dramatic. It won't be, I miss you so much. It will be something soft. Hey, how have you been? I saw something that reminded me of you. Simple, casual, almost harmless. But psychologically, it means everything because she's not reaching out to confess feelings. She's reaching out to check access. She wants to know, can I still reach him? Does he still respond? Is he still emotionally available to me? And this is where everything depends on you. If you respond with excitement, long messages, emotional energy, you've just told her nothing changed. And once she sees that, she relaxes again. The mystery disappears, the value drops again, and the cycle repeats. But if you respond differently, calm, centered, brief, or even not at all, something else happens. She feels the distance, not artificial distance, real distance. And that's when she realizes something deeper. You're not playing a game. You've actually moved on. And that realization changes how she sees you. Let me explain the psychology behind this in a deeper way. Attraction is not built on need. It's built on respect. When you were chasing her, needing her, trying to prove yourself, your energy came from a place of lack. I need her to feel okay. I need her attention. I need her validation. And she could feel that. Even if you never said it directly, she felt it in your behavior. And that energy slowly kills attraction. Not because you're not good enough, but because you stopped choosing yourself. But when you let go, when you stop needing her, when you start building your life without her at the center, your energy changes. Now you're not asking for value. You are value. And that shift cannot be faked. She feels it. And in her mind, you become someone different. Not the man she had, but the man she lost. And losing something always feels more intense than having it. Now, I want you to pause for a second and ask yourself honestly, were you giving more than you were receiving? Were you always the one trying? Were you always available? Because if you were, then what you're experiencing right now isn't just about her. It's about a pattern. And if you don't understand it, you'll repeat it, not just with her, but with someone else. And I don't want that for you, because the real loss here isn't losing her. It's losing yourself. Every time you accept less than you deserve, every time you ignore your boundaries, every time you chase someone who isn't choosing you, you slowly teach yourself that your needs don't matter. And that belief affects everything: your confidence, your decisions, your future relationships. So when you finally stop, when you finally choose yourself, it's not just about her reaction. It's about your transformation. And yes, she will notice. But this isn't your signal to go back. This is your proof that you made the right decision, because the version of you she's reacting to now is the version that doesn't need her. And the moment you go back with that old energy, you become the version she didn't respect in the first place. So the question isn't, will she come back? The real question is, will you stay the person you've become? And that's what we're going to go deeper into in part 2, because I'm going to show you exactly what happens next, how to handle it, and how to build a version of yourself that never has to chase again. But before we continue, if something in this message resonated with you, if you felt seen, understood, or even challenged a little, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, have you ever experienced this shift? Because your story matters here. And trust me, you're not alone in this. Now let's go deeper into what this transformation actually looks like. Because this is where everything changes, not just in your relationship, but in your entire life. When a man truly lets go, not as a strategy, not as a tactic, but as a genuine decision, his entire presence shifts. He wakes up with purpose. He's not checking his phone hoping to see her name. He's not replaying old conversations in his mind. He's not wondering what she's doing or who she's with. His focus moves from her to himself. And I want you to really understand how powerful that is, because most people never reach this point. Most people stay emotionally attached, even in silence. They stop texting, but they don't stop thinking. They disappear, but internally, they're still waiting. That's not letting go. That's pausing. You real letting go, feels different. It feels like peace, not forced peace, but natural detachment. And when you reach that state, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your decisions change. Your energy changes. And people feel it, especially her. Now let's talk about something very real. What it actually costs you when you don't let go. Because I've seen this so many times. Men staying in cycles, giving chance after chance, hoping things will change. And slowly, they lose something far more important than the relationship. They lose their self-respect. Every time you accept inconsistency, every time you tolerate hot and cold behavior, every time you allow someone to treat you like an option, you send a message. Not just to her, but to yourself. You don't matter. And the more you repeat that, the more your identity shifts around it. You become someone who tolerates less, someone who settles, someone who waits instead of chooses, and that's not who you are meant to be. So when you finally stop, when you finally say no more, that's not rejection, that's self-respect. And here's the interesting part. The moment you start living like that, you become more attractive. Not because you're trying to be, but because real confidence is quiet. It doesn't chase. It doesn't beg. It doesn't explain. It simply exists. And people, especially women, can feel that. Now let's talk about what you should actually do from here. First, you need to close the door completely. Not halfway, not just in case, completely. No checking her profile, no liking her posts, no casual messages. And I know that's hard. So here's a practical exercise for you. Every time you feel the urge to reach out, pause, take a breath, and redirect that energy. Do something physical, push-ups, a walk, anything. Or do something productive. Read a page, work on a goal. You're not just distracting yourself, you're retraining your brain. You're breaking the habit of seeking emotional reward from someone who didn't value you. Second, stop caring about the outcome. This is crucial because even hope is a form of attachment. If you're still hoping she comes back, she still has power over you. Real freedom comes when you genuinely don't care what she does next, not in a bitter way, but in a peaceful way. You're not wishing her bad. You're just not waiting anymore. And yes, this takes time, but every day you choose yourself, it gets easier. Third, raise your standards everywhere, not just in love, in friendships, in work, in how you spend your time, because the same mindset that allowed her to treat you poorly will show up in other areas too. You don't argue for respect, you expect it, and if it's not there, you walk away. Fourth, build real progress, not for her, for you. Get stronger, get sharper, get focused. And here's the beautiful part. When she eventually sees you again, and she won't just see a different version of you, she'll feel it. And that's something no words can compete with. Now let's talk about the moment she reaches out again, because if you've done the work, it will happen. And when it does, stay grounded. Don't rush to reply, not as a game, but because you actually have a life now. And when you do respond, keep it simple. No long messages, no emotional explanations, just calm, neutral, respectful. And if she asks why you've changed, you don't need to give a speech. You can simply say, I'm just focused on different things now. That's it, because you don't owe her your transformation story. You lived it, and that's enough. Now here's the truth most people avoid. Letting go is not a strategy to get her back. It's a decision to get yourself back. And if she returns, she's returning to someone who doesn't need her. And if she doesn't, you've already won, because you've built a life that doesn't depend on her presence. And that is real power. So let me leave you with this. One day, she will notice. Maybe she'll see you doing better. Maybe she'll see you with someone new. Maybe she'll just feel your absence. And in that moment, she'll realize what she lost. But by then, you won't be the same person. You won't be waiting. You won't be hoping. You'll be moving forward. And the choice will be yours, not hers. If this spoke to you, if it gave you clarity, or even just a moment of truth, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And tell me in the comments, are you choosing yourself now? Because that decision changes everything. And I'll be right here with you, every step of the way.